is my Sunday reading. But there indicates that there's about a 0.21 effect size. So if you're wondering what that means, in this particular study, a 0.4 equates to 1 year worth of growth. So if I apply a treatment, let's say we're going to try something new, and we're going to see what kind of impact does that have on student achievement. Ideally, we would want to apply a treatment that had at least a 0.4, because that shows us a student is going to have a year's worth of growth as a result of that treatment. Reducing class size only shows about a 0.21 effect size. And I know we all think, well, that doesn't even make sense to us. If you lower the class size, then surely kids are going to learn more. Well, what the research says is that if you lower the class size, that in and of itself does not impact student achievement. What changes or impacts student achievement is what the teacher changes in terms of their pedagogy, their instructional practices, how they structure the class. That is really where the bang for our buck comes in terms of impacting student achievement. It's the teacher's pedagogy, not necessarily the size of the class. What we do know is that the greatest impact that we can have is the quality of the teacher. That the first and foremost thing that we have to do is have a high-performing teacher, and that effect size can be anywhere from a 0.8 to a 1.0. So think about that when you have a high-quality teacher in a classroom, regardless of the class size. Regardless of the class size, a student can have anywhere between 2 years and 2.25 years worth of growth. Pretty incredible. To complement that, a lot of what the research said is that if you're going to focus on class sizes, really where they saw an impact that was sometimes higher than that 0.21, but again, not if teachers didn't change their practice, was in grades 1 through 3. And grades 1 through 3 would be where if you're gonna do any kind of targeting of that class size. But a lot of the researchers are in dire disagreement about what that ideal class size is. Because once you get small group intervention, what's the ideal class size for a small group intervention? 4 to 6, sometimes 6 to 8. Okay, that can be somewhere in that based upon the age, the maturation, and specifically what content or skill are you trying to intervene with. So if you're trying to get your class size down to that level, you might see some student achievement impact sizes. But what things are you missing when you have a class size of 4 to 6 to 8? Social, the interaction, different perspectives, learning how to build with teams, learning how to build with people who think differently than you do, who act differently than you do. So that they saw regression in student behavior when the class size was that small. But academic achievement and content, they saw some acceleration with.
Which is all I care about.
A lot of the research was focused on, you're going to reduce class size at what cost? And for what reason? And then I think legitimately you have to ask yourself, monetarily, financially, do you have the infrastructure to be able to support? We don't have a lot of data that says it has a tremendous impact on student achievement. Then do we have the number of classrooms? Do we have the staff? And what do we say about the quality of staff? So there was a district that was researched that implemented a 10 to 12 student class ratio. When they did observations and they looked at the quality of the staff, they weren't anywhere close to this 0.8, 1.0 because they had such a hard time they were putting a teacher in the room. They weren't putting a quality teacher in the room. Yes.
This is very interesting because